Lolita. I'm Verity.
And I'm Ariel, and today we are going to be making
bloomers. Alright, so for the bloomers, they're just going to be really, really plain. We aren't adding any lace or anything to them. We just want some plain bloomers because we have none, and that's one of the staples for Lolita. So we went to Joann's and we picked up a lot more fabric than we need. It's going to be for other projects as well. We picked up about 5 yards of really cheap white cotton. And then we also got 1/4 inch braided elastic that will be going around our legs for the bottom. But the waistband will be using the elastic from our skirt tutorial we previously did. And as per usual, we will be listing all of the costs down in the description below. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to comment below.
Anyways, let's get started!
Alright, so jumping right into this, we forgot to explain what we're doing here. So this is that explanation, and basically we decided to make our own pattern. Now, this proved to be a little bit challenging. We did use a website called antipope.org. I'll be leaving a link in the description below if you'd like to go and look at it. But there are a few things that it covers and doesn't cover that proved to be problematic. So we did have to add 5 inches to the crotch measurement for Ariel. You'll notice that we used her crotch measurement for the pattern. That was just in case it turned out to be too small. And it did, but at least it still fit me, so we didn't end up wasting all that fabric. And basically there was a typo in there that tricked us up, and it took a while to get our bearings in the pattern. So we decided to help you guys out. We were going to walk through the whole thing and show you all the things that we did to make our pattern. Now, this includes that 5 inches I mentioned, and various other changes that we had to make to the pattern to make it work. So yeah, without further ado, this is how we made our pattern, and I hope that this helps you and maybe saves you some time and frustration. So, enjoy! So to start off, we have to get a measurement from our hip down to the length of the bloomer that we want, and that will be point A to B. Next, we're going to be measuring around Ariel's hips. We'll be using her measurement since it'll be larger, so when we elasticate it, it will still fit me. Make sure that you got it lined up straight. Now, we're going to use 3/8 of that hip measurement and draw point A to C, and then we're going to square down to G. Then you use 3/8 of the hip plus 5 centimeters or 2 inches, and that gives you point D, and square down to point H. So now you've got kind of a rectangle. Now you want to measure your crotch, and like I said, we found out that we had to add 5 inches to this, and that's going to give you F and E for both of them. Draw a line across from F to E, and then we're going to do 3 centimeters above A is going to be point I, and we square across to J. So you got like this little handle up top. And then 7 centimeters in will be K. And then you just square up to the line between A and C, and that gives you L. And then you're going to do 1/8 of the hip measurement plus 3 centimeters to get to M, and then square up to the line between I and J, and that will be point N. Now you round up the edges like a typical crotch seam. Now measure in 1 inch from G and H, and that'll give you P and O, and then draw a line from E to O and F to P. Then draw a line from P to O to give you the bottom of the bloomers. Now a line from A to N. And finally you just outline the rest of your pattern. And there's your pattern. Now the right side is the front of the pattern, and the left side is the back of the pattern. And this is the pattern we're going to use. Now it's time to just cut out your pattern. So this is just your typical steps. We're pinning the pattern down to our fabric, and then we're going to cut it out and then remove the pattern and begin sewing our pieces together. So we're sewing it down on the 2 crotch seams, and we're going to be using a serger for this, and then we're also going to serge around the waistline and around the bottom of the pant legs. This will just prevent any possible fraying, and it will go a lot faster. And we're also going to pin down our seams before we go in and do it, just in case the fabric shifts on us while we're serging it. So once you have all that done, we're going to turn it so that you can see the leg. So I'm just grabbing it by the hip of the pattern, and you just pull it apart, and now it looks like some shorts. And all that's left to do is go and sew up the center of the crotch. That would be the seam that goes down the side of your legs. And we're also going to pin that before we go and serge it as well. So you can see me just messing with the pattern and trying to show you what seam we're going to be sewing together. Be sure to always do right sides together when you do this. Now here is where we have Ariel try them on and realize that the crotch measurement is not right. But when we had me try them on here, it was perfectly fine, so this one worked for me. So in order to make it fit, we're going to be adding 5 centimeters to our pattern, so we just pin it down and then extend all of our points. So you'll notice here that I just brought point N up, and then don't forget to bring point A up since the point to N and A is angled. And then you bring point C up and you just draw a line straight across as if it's still the same type of pattern. And here I'm just pointing out each point. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask us in the description below, but this is what we did, and we extended it by 5 inches. And once we did that, we had Ariel try them on one more time, and it was a success. It actually goes over her hips now. Now that we've got our bloomers, the base of them sewn, we're going to iron them. Just make sure they're going to be nice and flat. Alright, so now we're just going to check in with you and show you everything we've gotten done. These are my bloomers. I have them right side out right now. I'm showing you that we've pretty much sewn the whole base of it. We've serged all of it. And then we've done the exact same thing to Ariel's bloomers. Everything is serged. There's no fraying going on or anything. And then we're going to fold that down and just sew right across the top of it right there. And that will just give us a nice hem, a very minimalistic hem. We won't be folding it twice, just once. And then we're going to take our 1/4 inch braided elastic right here, and we're going to be sewing a band that will go around the bottom of our legs. So we're just going to go ahead and do that hemming I mentioned. Now here is where we're sewing the elastic into a band. Make sure it's not twisted when you do this, and just go back and forth with a zigzag stitch on top of it. So now that you're done, you should have 2 bands like this. We also have a band for our waistband, and we're just stretching out the elastic as far as we can and sewing it down straight onto the fabric. And you'll notice it ruffles itself by doing that. And you can place them however far you want. Keep in mind there will be a ruffle at the edge for it, so that is all based on preference. So there you have it. That's how you do your bloomers. And Ariel made a much bigger ruffle at the bottom, so her elastic is farther from the edge. I made a very small one, as you can see. But we both did about the same distance up at the top of them. And these just go on underneath your typical Lolita garments, and there you go. You can add lace and bows and whatever you want to them. We just wanted very plain ones.
So that's the end of our tutorial today.
And if you have any comments for us, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below, and we will do our best to reply to all of the comments that we receive. And if you make this project, please be sure to tag us at lolitary_fashion on Instagram and share it with us at lolitary on Facebook.
As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day.
We'll see you next time.